I'm just going to give you an overview of the astrology for June 2023. So, several of the things I'm going to be discussing here, I'm going to delve into in more detail in my videos that I do weekly. Because for June, I already did a video about the full moon in Sagittarius. Next week, I'm going to do one about Pluto moving back into Capricorn. Then the new moon in Gemini. The following week, Venus retrograde in Leo. And then another video about Mercury in the sign of Cancer. So those are all a couple of the events happening. So we start off the month on the 1st and 2nd with a Jupiter North Node conjunction in the sign of Taurus. This is happening at 3 degrees of the sign. And so Jupiter North Node conjunctions are great for moving towards, your destiny, fulfillment. There's tremendous growth opportunities with Jupiter conjunct the North Node, and you can find yourself in people and places and situations that sort of move you into, something better, something much more hopeful and expansive. There is great luck and blessings, built on offer here. It's a time where you can feel like you're getting somewhere, where you're moving somewhere that your soul wants to move toward, and that you can feel happier, more just having a lot of faith, because Jupiter is also the energy of as I said, blessings. So the North Node conjunct Jupiter is also time where you can really have a good philosophy on something, and manifest something and make something happen and ground something and move slowly and steadily through something, and then do something which is according to your values, because we are talking about Jupiter in the North Node conjunct in the sign of Taurus, and that sign is related to your sense of self-worth, your sense of values, that you matter, that you have something to offer. And so it's a really positive conjunction. If you can remember, in the summer of 2022, at the very end of July, we had a triple conjunction of Mars, Uranus, and the North Node in Taurus. That was huge for sort of accelerating us in the Taurus direction. Stability, which is Taurus because it's an energy of stability and wanting to keep things the same and wanting consistency and routine, but with Uranus there, and with Uranus moving through Taurus, it is, sort of shaking up agriculture, the food supply, our resources, what we value, all those kind of things with that. And I know actually next year in 2024, which is an 8 year, 8 is material gains, material sort of abundance, really manifesting something. It's largely related to money, and really, putting yourself out there, making something happen. So Jupiter is going to conjunct Uranus in April of next year, which is going to really expand, money. Could there be a lot of money? Could you gain a lot of money? Could you win the lottery, or could you lose a lot of money? Unexpected, events and situations happening with Taurus-related themes. With Jupiter, Uranus, Jupiter expands and invites, like, let's make this bigger, better. Let's put the extra chocolate sauce on this sundae. Let's gild the lily. And Uranus shakes up and, things, unexpected, and what is radically different, and what is fresh and new, and what is moving towards something much greater for you, which gives you a sense of liberation. So, um, those two planets coming together at that time are really going to, pack a punch, and it's going to be um, you know, a party for winning at an auction, or winning a prize dish that you really want to eat or something. I don't know. But that's around the 21st of April when that conjunction is going to happen. And this is sort of, in a way, setting us up for that, or a conjunction like that, because we have so much going on in Taurus. The North Node has been in Taurus. It's sort of wrapping up its stay in Taurus. It's going to move back into Aries in July. Jupiter just moved into Taurus in the middle of May of this year. Uranus has been in Taurus since 2018. So much is happening in, in the Taurus area of your chart, and also just in general for the world. So then on June 2nd, we have a conjunction of Venus, or actually a trine of Venus and Neptune. Trines are where things flow, things are harmonious, it's easy energy, it's yummy energy, necessarily speaking. There's so much positivity and good things with a trine. And it's energy you definitely want to take advantage of and not just sit on. And so Venus trine Neptune is great for anything involving art, anything involving taking care of other people, service work. This could be you feeling more compassionate, feeling more empathetic, like you want to make a difference and better someone's life, like you want to inspire or empower them, or soothe, care, and nurture them. This is a beautiful romantic energy, and you could find yourself feeling the calling for being more artistic, for being more artsy, more musical, music, singing, also getting into altered states, meditation, great for that, super positive things. The empathy is up, the sensitivity is up, like you want to have a deeper relationship and connection with somebody in a relationship. Those are all really positive ways that you can use the energy here. um, and of course we have Venus in Cancer, which is puts an emphasis on our home, our roots, our family, our sort of emotional foundations. Who are we taking care of in our family? And Neptune in Pisces. So Cancer and Pisces coming together with Neptune and Venus. Then the full moon in Sagittarius is on the 3rd of the month. And so the full moon is happening at 13 degrees of Sagittarius. And this full moon is forming a square with Saturn. So there's some tension here, but it's a really productive day and a productive time to get things done, to manifest something, to draw healthy boundaries, to really persist and commit on whatever it is you want to do. Saturn is that energy of, okay, I'm locking down, I'm grounding down to reality, I'm putting my nose to the grindstone, and I'm going to see if I can clean up what doesn't work for me anymore, because we are talking about belief systems. Sagittarius is an energy of fun, joy, freedom, philosophy. But in order to get to all the goodness that Sagittarius has to provide, we need to look at our outlook on life, our philosophy on life, and our belief systems. And what belief systems don't work for us. During this full moon, we need to balance out wisdom and expansion and, long distance travel and the big ideas, um, you know, versus the little things, information, details, the data that you collect on a day-to-day basis, the relationships and the conversations that you have, and the new information that Gemini can provide. So that is that full moon. It's also trying to Mars, so it gives a little bit of a boost and activation energy. We can, have a party, get something done, get something off the ground. We're feeling energetic, revved up, energized with a moon, with the moon trining Mars. You can express yourself and your emotions, and you can assert yourself in really positive ways. It isn't a hard aspect between the moon and Mars, so a lot of positive things can come from that. Now, moving on to June 4th, we sort of have a cluster of astrological events happening on these days as we have Mercury and Uranus conjuncting in Taurus. Mercury has been in Taurus since April 7th of this year because of its retrograde from April 21st through May 14th. And so Mercury is conjuncting Uranus, officially now on this particular day. And this provides new flashes of insight, knowledge, where there's unexpected news, unexpected events coming to the forefront, where there's something new, there's something sort of wild and out of the box. But at the high road, you can really use this to awaken your genius, to have these radical ideas, these out of the box ideas that are new, and they're ideas of revelation, and you can communicate those ideas and actually make them happen because it's happening in Taurus, and also being open and listening to the radical ideas of other people. Then on June 5th, we have something which is a big ticket item in the astrological world. A major transit is starting up. It is Venus in Leo. Now, Venus is a personal planet, and it takes about 24 to 25 days to be in a sign normally. It takes that amount of time. Last year, it took that amount of time for Venus to be in Leo. It was just a normal transit. But this time around, we're entering a Venus retrograde season. So the actual Venus retrograde season is from June 19th through October of this year. So Venus is going to be in Leo from June through October because of its retrograde season from July the 22nd through the 3rd of September. Venus in Leo is a super passionate and bold and expressive energy where you're wearing your heart on your sleeve in love. You're expressing your feelings to your partner. It's also great for doing anything creative, doing anything that fills your soul, anything that involves pleasure, anything romantic, where you want Venus and Leo is really big and loud when it comes to love. It doesn't want to settle. It doesn't want the humdrum, same old, same old. It wants fun. It wants play and passion. There's such a childlike quality to Venus in Leo that it desires, and it's Leo rules the heart. So opening your heart, doing anything to open your heart at this time. I was listening to the astrologer Kathy Rose talking about the astrology for June of this year. She was talking about Venus in Leo, and she was talking about opening your heart chakra. So wonderful things to do during this time, and throughout the retrograde season, we're looking at where we're not allowed to shine, express ourselves, where we're not allowed to be in the spotlight, where we don't feel like the partner is loyal to us, where we don't feel appreciated, celebrated for who we are. and our creative gifts and our creative expression, whatever that may be. And so it'll be a really powerful retrograde season. And then on June, fast forward on June 9th, if I'm getting this correctly, we have Mercury sextile to Neptune. Sextiles are positive aspects, full of opportunity, full of, there is a window of opportunity here. An astrologer that I was listening to described sextile as you're opening a window and you're grabbing the fruit as opposed to the fruit being handed to you. There's a positive energy and you can use it, but you have to use it in order to take the most advantage of it and make it mean something for you. So Mercury sextile Neptune is great for any creative work. If you're writing a story where you're using your imagination, if you are coming up with some sort of drama or some sort of play where it is abstract, where it is in the mind, ethereal, you're allowing your imagination to lead the way, and it's also great for meditation, grounding, centering, tapping into the here and now, the present moment, um, and calming the mind down. Wonderful things to do with that energy. On June 11th, not only do we have Mercury, the planet of communication, entering its sign of domicile, entering its home sign of Gemini. So now we're really communicating. Now we're thinking quicker. Now we are sharing, communicating, messaging, networking. We're signing contracts. We're having conversations with people. It's a really social energy. With Mercury in the sign of Gemini, it's really fast, buzzy energy where our minds are going to be more active. We have more, stimulants. We have more things to keep ourselves occupied and going, where we can, where Mercury is at home in Gemini. It's immediately going to trine Pluto, so intensity, intense thoughts, intense words. We can think really deeply. We can get to the core, to the truth of something. We can investigate what's really going on. And with Pluto and Aquarius, deals with AI. We can also find out what is going on in our group sector, our community sector. So Mercury trine Pluto is really deep and communicates in a really deep and profound way. Speaking of Pluto, it's heading back into Capricorn. It's retrograding back into Capricorn at the 29th degree, at the anaretic degree of the sign. So this is where we are reevaluating those structures, those old structures, those powerful structures, those governments, those institutions that have been holding us back and limiting us, and where we've just been following authority, following tradition, persisting and putting the work in and doing it is that we need to do, but it's not true for us. So on the positive side, Pluto retrograding back into Capricorn really is a great invitation for us to trust our own inner authority, follow our own inner guidance system. And so it's sort of destroying those old power structures to make room for the new. And the 29th degree in and of itself is where this, there's a lot of pressure here. Things are really heating it, so we're sort of destroying the old to get to the new. On the 16th of the month, or on the 17th actually, Saturn is stationing to go retrograde in Pisces at 7 degrees of the sign. So when Saturn stands still, we are looking at our boundaries, our structures, our commitments, our discipline, all those Saturn related areas where we put the work in, where we've been ambitious, consistent, steady, where have we not have been. And so we're going to be reevaluating where have we not been true to our spiritual practice, where have we not, where have we looked at gone on to spiritual narcolepsy, where have we not opened up compassion, drew healthy boundaries, because Saturn in Pisces is really asking us to draw healthy boundaries between ourselves and others. So a lot happening with that, because Saturn's retrograding, it's reviewing, we're going back over that, we're reassessing that. June 18th is the new moon in Gemini, so setting intentions about communicating, the words that we say to ourselves and what we say to others. It's also squaring Neptune, so there could be some confusion, delusion, where we're not seeing things clearly. So much with that. I'll do a separate video about that new moon when it comes. June 19th, Venus enters shadow, the retrograde season begins. So what the events that are transpiring in our lives on around June 19th, we're going to be seeing those differently on September 3rd when the station's direct at 12 degrees of Leo, because the retrograde season is from 12 to 28 degrees of Leo. So then June 21st, the sun enters Cancer. We're focused on our home, family, our emotional connections, our roots, where we're nurturing others, being nurtured. June 26th, we have Mercury entering Cancer. We're thinking more emotionally. We're communicating more emotionally. We're communicating in a more caring, nurturing, loving way. And then Mars is conjunct. Mars is square Uranus, eruptions, sudden things happening out of the blue. But it could also be now we're liberating ourselves. Now we're asserting ourselves and being more free. And then June 30th, Neptune goes retrograde. In Pisces, Neptune stations retrograde. We're seeing the veil is sort of taken from us for a certain period of time when Neptune goes retrograde. We're seeing things more rationally, more clearly, more logically, more in reality. We're less likely to get sort of distracted and carried away and caught in delusion and, all this kind of Neptunian themes. So that is the general astrology overview for the month of June. I hope that you really enjoyed this video. Bye for now, everybody.